got like 3 websites open, and I'm doing research on bossa nova, you know, the origins.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Trying to put a thesis together, and very tied to slavery. But most of the music in Brazil is, you know, and the samba, the bossa nova, the and on all the different partito alto and all those styles,
so
you know.
So it's tied to slavery. Just how? I'm naive.
Because
I mean, I like history.
Yeah, well, most of the rhythms from South America come from Africa, and the slaves bought all of their cultural. Yeah, and then as a matter of fact, a lot of the slaves went to England before they came south to come to the Caribbean, Cuba, and then the Americans, and then South America. So the native Indians had their own musical culture, and it blended with the African rhythms and culture, and that's why a lot of the rhythms in South America and Brazil in particular have their own uniqueness. And the thing about the bossa nova, nova means new, and bossa is like a Portuguese English translation would be unique, something good, unique, you know. So it was like a new, unique style of music that
very nice.
Jobim with Girl from Ipanema, that was like a top 10 hit at the time when the Beatles, the Beach Boys were all, you know.
Yeah.
So for a song from another country to come into the American culture, it become a top 10 hit. It was
major.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what is your heritage? Are you
African-wise?
You're from, where were you born?
Oh, in Philadelphia.
You were born in Philadelphia?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And your parents were born in Philadelphia?
No, my parents are from the South. As a matter of fact, my mother's families, they were mostly from Charlotte area.
North
Carolina, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And then my dad's family, they're from a little tiny town called Rich Square.
I know where Rich Square is.
Oh, you know where it is?
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We drive through Rich Square every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where my dad's family is
from. He's from Rich Square?
He's from Rich Square.
Yeah, because to come from Carolina to Virginia, we always had to drive through Rich Square, every weekend.
That's right.
Rich Square, you know about that?
I've never been there, but my wife and I just recently went to the family reunion, first week of August.
Where?
In Charlotte.
In Charlotte, okay.
So, you know, that was a big deal. You know, my wife is a California girl, you know, but she really loves my family loves her, man. It's like she can do no wrong, which is bad for me.
Right.
But it's great, you know, and I think her biggest concern, like, she says, I'm going to be the only white person in the room. And I said, you'll experience what I experience almost every day of my life, you know. I go to teach at USC, and it's mostly people from other parts of the world, Chinese, you know, Caucasian. And I said, that's a good experience for you to learn how to mingle regardless of how somebody looks, you know. So it was great. She clung to my family, but then she eventually branched out. You know? But one day, I hope to go to Rich Square to kind of get to know my dad's side of the family as well.
Yeah, Rich Square, small town, kind of the, how they have it, you know, just a street and then.
Really small.
Yes, street, real small.
My dad,
real small.
My aunt used to tell me stories about how my dad, when he was dating my mom, used to pick her up on his bicycle. You know, she would sit on the handlebars, and you know, so.
Yeah, Carolina.
Yeah,
that's pretty much where our family's from. You know,
really.
My dad was in the military.
So was mine, in the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a chef in the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Which part of the service?
My dad was in the Army first, fought in the Korean War.
Wow.
And then, I think it was about 8 years or so, and then he went to the Air Force for 24 years and retired in the Air Force.
Wow.
So we're all born in a different state.
Yeah.
All the brothers. But we had to go back to North Carolina every summer. I remember driving back from North Carolina. I'm sorry, from California all the way to North Carolina.
Wow.
Victor was born in Idaho, so we drive every summer from Idaho, Mountain Home, Idaho to North Carolina.
Does your family have reunions? Do you get together?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. And actually, we went this year. The first time we'd been in a while.
Wow.
But yeah, just out there on the farm, they still have the farm.
Yeah.
But Rich Square, I've been through Rich Square 50 times.
Wow.
Yeah, at least, probably more.
As a matter of fact,
we get home back to Virginia from Carolina to Newport News, Virginia.
There's and I'll have to find out the name. There's a gas station down there, not Johnson, but they're related to my dad's side of the family. It's a black-owned gas station chain. And
man, I would have,
small world, huh?
Small world. I would have never thought that.
You're the first person that I've ever spoken to who knows where Rich Square is.
Knows about Rich Square.
Yeah.
Our whole family.
Yeah.
I didn't think you knew about Rich Square.
Yeah. That's the only reason I know about Rich Square.
Yeah, there's a lot of small towns there. Tarboro, Pine Tops.
Yeah.
My dad was born.
Wow.
There's real small.
Wow. Yeah.
Kind of like one light.
Yeah.
One light towns.
Wow. And before I forget, Malcolm Jamal Warner, he's coming to your base camp, the base camp.
Victor's base camp?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just saw him because he was in town. He was in Nashville recently.
That's right. He's doing a play there.
Yeah, he was just there. I saw him. He didn't see me, but I saw him.
Yeah, we just became close friends through George Duke, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
He contacted George. He wanted to get a hold of me to do some bass lessons, so we just got together and hung for a little bit.
He's a motorcycle guy, isn't he?
I didn't know that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he rides his motorcycle.
I don't know him that well yet. We just kind of,
I don't know him that well. Victor, of course, knows that. My brother Victor knows everybody. But, that's cool.
So back to soul food. We were talking about soul food earlier, and you were saying how, even though you're a vegetarian, you still love.
I'm a soul food guy. I'm from the South.
Yeah.
I live in Nashville, Tennessee now. I moved to Nashville because of the Meat and Threes, they call it. Meat and Three restaurants. You know what that is?
I'm not hip to that.
Okay, well, it's called a Meat and Threes. That's like they have tons of them in Nashville.
What is it? What's the connotation of the three?
You get one meat and 3 vegetables for a price.
Oh, I thought you meant like meat. Like you meet somebody.
Oh, no. The restaurants are called Meat and Threes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I really
like
it.
That's really South.
I moved from New York, because Victor moved to Nashville, so I went to New York just to spread out the. And but when I came through Nashville, it was like I knew I was gonna live.
Wow.
Because of the food and the people.
Yeah.
It was just down home. But yeah, I'm just a regular. I still like cornbread. And lemonade, sweet tea.
Oh man, yeah.
I just like regular food. The peach cobblers. My aunts introduced me to pineapple cake and banana cake. So Victor's really good. All my brothers are really good. They can travel and eat different kinds of food, Indian food.
They're not vegetarian.
Victor's not, but Roy is. My brother Roy, Future Man, is, and Joseph is too.
Wow.
My brother Rudy, who passed, he's not. He wasn't a vegetarian either. So Victor's.
I think I met Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the.
And he's a real soul food guy too.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's just down home.
Wow.
I'm not a fancy guy at all. I'm just a regular.
I'm
just a regular guy.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, not interesting, but you can always tell when someone's parents raised them right, and you can tell that your mom and dad really raised all of you with a firm hand, because you're all very well mannered, and there's a sense of purpose in each of your lives, you know, and yet there's also humility and grace, which is a great characteristic to have, you know.
Well, it's the only way you can grow, you know. I think that's one thing our family knows, that the only way you can really keep growing is you got to keep your humility.
Yeah.
You have to listen.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
I'm 8 years older than Victor. I remember when Victor was born, I just listened to him. He seemed to always have the right answers. You know, he just guessed the right answer. So it doesn't matter, for me, it didn't matter where the knowledge came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then he's kind of doing that with his kids, you know.
Yeah. He's got a great son, man. It's just...
But yeah, our mom, she was from North Carolina, really into the church.
Yeah.
And her mother was the mother of the church. They called it, like, the mother of the church.
Wow.
And so, you know, but they were what they call primitive Baptists.
What's that mean?
Primitive Baptists, it's a different style of Baptists. They have the old style singing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They sing nothing but hymns. They don't sing gospel.
Oh, okay. All right.
They sing out the hymn book.
Right, right.
And it's the long meter style.
Wow.
I need Victor in here, and it's the long meter. It's real archaic. It's,
wow.
You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like if they sing, I once was blind, once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but you know, they have the guy say it. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. And then the whole church says the same thing, but it's long meter. It took me years to figure out that they were saying the same thing, because it goes, yeah. And they hold hands and, you know, one. It used to scare me, you know.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
It used to scare that sound. And then, and, you know, and they have no instruments or anything, you know.
Yeah.
Primitive Baptists, they didn't believe in instruments. It's just the voice. And,
wow.
But it's very organized. They knew what they were doing. They was, you know, high voices, low voices.
My sister goes to a Baptist church that's like that.
Yeah.
The Holy Rollers.
Holy Rollers.
And they just.
And where is that?
She's in Atlanta now.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Or just outside of Atlanta, but.
Yeah. So.
I remember when we went to visit. She kind of gave us a heads up. She says, "Now, when we have service," she says, "we're in it for real, you know." So I don't want y'all to get scared or anything, because there'll be people that get the spirit and they'll jump up.
Oh yeah.
And scream and shout and just.
Yeah, the ladies used to scare me. My mom used to. She finally let us quit going, you know. But they'd scream, you know, so loud.
Yeah.
I mean, they can scream louder than James Brown. Yeah. You know, James Brown can scream, but I've heard them, like, you know, they really get going, and then they go into, I guess, some kind of trance or something. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what actually happens.
They can,
you know, because they were for real.
Yeah.
Now I play at Nashville, Tennessee, which has it's the Bible of the it's the buckle of the Bible Belt, and so they actually have shouting too, but honestly, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's kind of a put on. You know?
I know.
And I've actually played in the church. They have music in the church.
Yeah.
My first job in Nashville was playing music in the churches and everything.
Wow.
But in Carolina, even to this day, it's a whole nother thing. I just go there and it's just respect. Now I go there, I'm a little bit stronger, braver.
Yeah.
And I just try to see what, like, I can't even understand what they're saying. Like the preacher, he's. Then he gets all into it and starts holding his ear, and you know, like Miles Davis. I call it Miles Davis, but they're holding it church style. And they're going around, and I mean, I've been playing music over 50 years, and I still don't really know. I don't understand the meter, the way they sing.
Wow.
My mom says it's, you know, but I can't. So.
That would be something that would be. That needs to be documented, because, you know, I mean, that most of African American history is passed on from generation to generation by word of mouth, just like, you know, because in Africa they didn't have tape recorders and stuff. So everything was passed down from generation to generation. And so when the slaves came over, they continued to do the same thing until they moved out of the South into the big cities, metropolitan cities. And that's when they stopped going to church and stopped, you know, broke away from the tradition. But it's so important, man, to know what, I mean, I don't know what it is either, but I would love to know. And that's when we go to Charlotte or we go to Atlanta, I always make it a point to find something about our family, about our culture, and about tradition that I didn't know before. So that's going to be something I definitely want to check out.
Yeah.
I'll sneak my recorder and I won't say anything.
Yeah, my mom has lots of tapes, and I listen to it. And I listen, I listened to Coltrane for years.
Yeah.
I listened to that for years, and I still haven't just figured out when do you know when to go up? And,
But they all do it together.
They all do it together, and they know when someone else is imitating, doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And my mom said, like, you had to have the spirit, like you were called to church.
That's right.
They said, you'd have a calling to go to church, and in Victorville they can tell you about it too. They know about it. But and then you sit there with the elders or whatever. You tell them what you dreamed and what you seen, as they call it, what you've seen, and the other ones say, "Yeah, I know you." You know, they can tell you telling the truth, and all of a sudden you can sing like that. But I sit there, and I've always been, I'm a theory guy, and always try to honestly, understand physically and spiritually what was happening.
Yeah.
But honestly, with their music, I don't understand the timing. It's the strangest music I've ever heard, and it's the most haunting. Like I can feel it.
Yeah.
And as a kid, the reason I was scared is not because I was scared of the lady, but they would jump into the spirit, and I didn't want the spirit to jump inside of me. And I start shouting and be out of control, because they'd be out of control sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And me being the oldest, I thought maybe something was going to happen, like, some type of magic. And that was really why I was scared. One, because I was afraid of the ladies or the guys.
Yeah.
But
that's a very powerful.
But you being from Rich Square, that's in the heart of it. So you were born there? Or?
No, I was born in Philly, but raised under. My mom and dad were staunch churchgoers and
from that.
Baptists.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had to go to Sunday school every Sunday and study, and then attend church.
Maybe that's some of the spirit we were feeling when I saw you with Cobham that time. Because, like, if my brother Roy was here, he'd be going off about, especially that show you guys did at Rainbow's End. But, not only, one, just the notes, but there's a certain timing and feeling in which resulted in like a spiritual vibe you guys were kicking out.
Yeah.
Maybe that was that Rich Square thing, because it was for real,
Yeah, I mean,
And, Cobham was playing tough and everything, but now that you said that, it's starting to, maybe that was some of the vibe, because that's very important in music too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people leave that part out, like, where people are from.
Yeah.
Actually does influence the music.
That's where your roots are.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that. I mean,
it's hard to explain it. Yes.
It's hard to explain.
It gets deep or something, but
hard to teach. Hard to teach people from other cultures about that, because it's something you have to experience. It's not just
you can't
mere the passing of words doesn't do it. It's only part of what actually happens. Like you said, when you're in church and you feel that someone is for real, they're not faking it.
Right.
As opposed to nowadays, we have mega churches, and it's
true.
all about the show.
That's totally different.
But when you go to a small church, and like you said, it's steeped in tradition, then you get it. And when you grow up with that, that's part of who you are. Right. And as you express yourself through music, that's got to come out.
It's got to come out.
You know, it's just part of who you are.
It's part of who you are.
So, you know, I notice a lot of times when I'm teaching, I'll play something, and I don't really know where it comes from. You know, I just know it's inspired and it's there. And sometimes people are very interested. So where did that come from? You know, what were you? They want to analyze it and figure out the technical aspects of it. And I just said, I don't know. I don't. You know, it comes from. It's like you said, the spirit just moves through you. You know, and when you allow that to happen, when you're open to it, it happens. You're never. It's like when we talk, we can never be at a loss for something to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And that's just.
Right.
I don't know if this is the way you wanted us to go.
But still, it's interesting. I've actually learned a lot. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So your dad was from South.
He was from Rich Square.
Your dad was from Rich Square, and your mom was from
Charlotte.
Wow, that's the Carolina.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. Then that for me, that explains the whole thing. Mission over. Cut the interview off. I got it now.
All right.
No, really, I'm serious. Cause yeah.
And you know more about that tradition probably than I do, because my parents left.
Right.
Let's see. My two oldest sisters were born in Charlotte. I just found this out this year at the family reunion. I thought we all grew up in Philly.
Right, okay.
So my two oldest sisters, who my aunt used to babysit, and then when, so that's Josephine and Ernestine. When Edith was born, my sister that lives in Atlanta now, that's when the family moved to Philadelphia. And then the rest of us were born up there. And that, so that's a whole different feeling.
Yes.
My two oldest sisters have something that the rest of us aren't. It's not accessible to us from our experience, our past experience. And they are very, you know, they're like us. They're with family, but they know some stuff.
Yeah, they know some
we don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that Carolina area, I've always been fascinated with it anyways.
It's so beautiful there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got off the plane and it was humid.
The whole East Coast, I mean.
Yeah. But it was beautiful. It's just green, and people are really nice.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a different thing.
And my wife, she's very health conscious and very.
Your wife is from where?
Burbank, California.
Oh, nice.
Born and raised there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
so
we used to live in California too. That's why. You know,
oh, did you?
Yeah, we lived in Sacramento for 5 years.
So.
But yeah, Burbank. That's.
She was astonished at how heavy everybody was, and I said, well, that's because there was a time when people had to eat like that because all they did was work in the fields all day.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
And when you're working in the fields, it's no vacation. So you're working off all that food that you ate earlier and building up muscles at the same time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to admit for the camera, but, you know, Victor, we all did tobacco, you know. Victor and Joe didn't have to do as much. But we used to go down to North Carolina every weekend. And so is that a family reunion or where?
Yeah, those are my two boys.
Is it? Yeah.
My two oldest sons. I have pictures from the reunion, but they're in my camera.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Miles and Malcolm.
Miles and Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. They look tall too.
Taller than me.
Taller than you?
Yeah. I think Malcolm's actually no, they're about the same. They're both like 6'4.5", approaching 6'5", and just great kids. great human beings.
Very nice. So you like being a father and everything?
Yeah, man, I'm glad I had kids.
Okay.
You know, I was scared to death when when their mom got pregnant, but then that was really when I got married to her, because we both wanted to have kids.
Both want to have kids. You know? Nice, nice.
We were both ready.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. There's my family. My mom and my sister.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's you. So your mom is church hat?
The one with the hat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got the
styling.
You got the church hat. Well, those elders always wear the hats, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, where did that come from? Like, why?
I don't know.
And they get very elaborate hats, too,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like when you see the women over in England, when there's a special event like the coronation.
They have to do it, too.
Oh, man, serious hats.
What is that? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it going on. That's good. I've never been married, never had any kids. So I always admire people that, you know, to me it's like, you know, it's such a different, I mean, I love kids.
Sure.
I love the whole marriage thing. It's just that I've never done it, you know.
Yeah.
So always, when I see people married, it's like really amazing thing. Like, you know, what's it like? And
it's different.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, different in a way. Once you have that sense of normalcy with your partner, I think it's a different journey than when you're just kind of like playing the field, you know. And so, you know, when you find somebody that you really like, that you can learn to love, I think it's a different experience. And, you know, obviously, you can find that, and it still may not last. It may take 5, 6 years for you to figure out, I really like you, but I don't think I can love you, you know, and that's what people divorce, you know. Or they say, I think I can love you, but it's going to take a lot more work than I'm willing to commit to this relationship, you know. So I think people get, and they reach that point at different levels of their, I know a couple that's been married over 40 years that were thinking about divorce. Kids are grown up, grandkids, you know, and they just reach...
Divorce, and then what?
Well, the kids talked them out of it. Yeah, the kids said...
I mean, because I don't know, I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know,
I don't know why they were going to do it. I didn't feel it was my place to ask. You know,
I understand. Yeah.
But the kids just told them, we've never had that in our family, and you'd be setting a precedent, which would set a bad example for us, for your grandchildren. You know, hang in there a little long, try to work it out.
Yeah.
And they did.
Good, that's good.
I'm
glad to hear that.
They figured it out.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up all your time.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Carolina man, Philadelphia, Carolina. That is neat. I hope they got what they want.
I got what I wanted. It was just great to connect.
But music-wise, that's what it is. You got that Carolina thing. You know, there's a certain strength that I was picking. You know, because a lot of people, Thelonious Monk, of course.
Yeah.
Carolina.
That's right.
You got your Coltrane, High Point. You know, and I mean, I'm not trying to just praise you all the time, but still,
no, I understand what you're saying.
Let me just say, man, but your style was just so original at that time. And I don't know if you know, but there are so many, like, you know, people talk about Jaco, clones, whatever, but you had them too. There are many people, I know so many people, we were in Virginia trying to dress like you, you know, trying to do, you know, because your sound was really it. And that's why it was really great when we finally got to see you, because, you know, we didn't, of course, back when I grew up, there's no YouTube or anything. You couldn't really see your artist. I think I saw you once on Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Oh yeah, with Weather Report.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you there, and then I finally got to see you live. Yeah, with Cobham George Duke. And then I just take that knowledge home. My brother Rudy would always sneak a tape recorder, and then we'd take it back and just school Vic and them on it.
Wow.
Man, this guy did this, man. He played. So he played in the back.
Yeah.
Man, he played all the way in the back, man. That's we explain. But the originality that you could do it, you know what I mean? You weren't imitating anybody. That's hard. That's a strength. You had your own sound.
Yeah.
And that's what I just talked about in my clinic. We're all born with a fingerprint, which means, your fingerprint's never been here before, and it's never going to be here again.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a long time to, we need to amplify that out and see what that is. It's going to be original.
Mm-hmm.
And you were one of the guys that that had your own original sound.
Mm.
I mean, you had a lot of things you're doing was just so original. Man, we grooved on that for so long, for years. And then, of course, we just amplified it to Victor. So even my brother Victor's just coming out of.
Yeah, he sounds great. Man.
So you guys, I don't want to worry you out with that. But when you said the Carolina ancestry, it's just like Coltrane or Thelonious Monk. I just wonder where is that guy from? Playing like that. Even Monk, I really like. Of course, Train, he's obvious his sound, but you're doing the same thing. I just want you to know that people know that, and like if my brothers were here, they'd be going off on
the Carolina.
Well, no, your music. Your music.
Yeah,
your music was a huge influence on so many people. Huge. Now I just don't know if every time the artist knows that. But like I said, in my neighborhood, in Virginia, not just in our neighborhood, man, we're trying to dress like you. Everything. We're trying to get taller. You know what I mean? We were trying to sing like you.
That's funny.
You and George Duke,
that was
because it was very influential, and the music was really strong back then. We don't have that today. Just music is totally different now, and I just don't know if it's ever going to come back. But I feel fortunate to actually be part of that fusion time. People don't even know what I'm talking about when I say that. What was going on, what you guys were doing, and. If I ever get more money, I would like to really express that in books and everything, so people could really know that they missed out on some major, major stuff.
Well, I'm trying to complete a curriculum for a fusion ensemble at USC, and so I'll be calling you because I want to find out which were your favorite songs.
It's going to be a lot of them.
That's okay, because I want to make sure.
I can play a lot of them. I can say, now see.
Yeah.
She,
make sure that I get, not just from me, because my perspective is different, but from people that are real fans of the music, their perspective about things that would be important to, like what we just talked about, the fact that certain musicians from certain parts of the country have that influence, that probably goes all the way back to the church, how they were born, the influences that they
and just the strength to do it. There must be something in your ancestry just to have the strength to play like that.
Yeah.
You weren't doing the James Jamerson thing or whatever the style was at the time. Sure. You were doing your own thing. Cobham saw it, and you're sitting there kicking Cobham, with your own sound. It was. It wasn't a standard sound. The solos you were taking is totally different. I mean, that takes a lot to do that. People weren't doing that. I remember because we got the tapes, bootleg tapes. But and me being the oldest, I was always pushing my brothers in a positive way to check this guy out. See, did you get that? So it was major stuff. There need to be more emphasis on on influences like that.
Mm-hmm.
In my
I
world.
agree. All right, Tony's kicking us out.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Man.
Thank you for the time.
All right.
It's an honor. Thank you, sir.